Everyone in my class thought Ethan was just a quiet boy. He never talked. He never smiled. But one day, I discovered his secret, and it changed the way our whole class saw him. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another English learning story. Today, we will improve our English with a short and simple story. Listen carefully, read every sentence, and repeat after me. Do not worry about mistakes. Just relax and enjoy the story. Learning English can be fun when we learn through stories. Today's story is about a quiet boy in a classroom. Nobody talked to him much. Nobody knew his life. But one day, something surprising happened, and everyone learned a secret about him. Are you ready? Let's begin the story. My name is Daniel. I am 16 years old. I live in a small city called Brookville. Brookville is a quiet city. There are many trees and small parks. People know each other. Life moves slowly here. I study at Brookville High School. I am in grade 11. I am not the most popular student, but I am friendly. I like talking with people. I also enjoy reading books and playing basketball. In my class, there are 28 students. Some students are very loud. Some students are funny. Some students are always talking. But one student was different. His name was Ethan. Ethan sat in the last row of the classroom. He was very quiet. He rarely spoke to anyone. He came to class every day. He listened carefully. He wrote in his notebook. But he never joined conversations. During lunchtime, he usually sat alone. Many students thought he was strange. Some students said he was shy. Some students said he was rude. But the truth was, nobody really knew him. I sometimes looked at Ethan during class. He always looked calm, but sometimes his eyes looked sad. I wondered why. One Monday morning, our English teacher walked into the classroom. Her name was Miss Taylor. She smiled at us and said, "Good morning, everyone." "Good morning, Miss Taylor," we answered. She wrote something on the board. Group project. The class became noisy immediately. "Oh no," someone said. "I hate group projects," another student said. Miss Taylor laughed. "Don't worry," she said. "This will be fun." She looked around the classroom. Then she said, "I will choose your partners." Everyone became quiet. We waited. She started calling names. Lily and Marcus, Jake and Emma, Carlos and Nina. Then she looked at her list again. Daniel and Ethan. For a moment, the room was silent. I slowly turned my head toward Ethan. He was sitting quietly, looking at his desk. Some students looked surprised. Marcus whispered to me, "Good luck." I walked to the empty desk next to Ethan. "Hi," I said softly. Ethan looked up. "Hi," he replied. His voice was very quiet. Miss Taylor continued speaking. "You and your partner will prepare a short presentation. You can choose any topic. You have 1 week." The bell rang soon after that. Students began leaving the classroom. I looked at Ethan. "So, what topic should we choose?" I asked. He thought for a moment. Then he said, "Maybe music." "Music," I said. "Yes," he said. "I like music." I smiled. "That sounds good." For a moment, we sat in silence. Then I said, "Do you play an instrument?" Ethan looked down again. "Yes," he said quietly. "What instrument?" I asked. But Ethan did not answer. He just packed his bag and stood up. "I have to go," he said. Then he walked out of the classroom. I watched him leave. Something felt strange, but I did not understand why. The next day, I saw Ethan again in class. He was sitting in the same seat, quiet, calm, writing in his notebook. After class, I walked to him again. "Hey, Ethan," I said, "we should work on our project." He nodded. "Yes." "When can we meet?" I asked. He looked unsure. "Maybe tomorrow after school?" he said. "Okay," I said. "Library?" "Yes." The next day, I went to the school library after class. The library was quiet. Students were studying. Some students were reading books. I sat at a table near the window. 10 minutes passed. Then I saw Ethan walking into the library. He carried a small backpack. He looked around and saw me. Then he walked slowly to the table. "Hi," he said. "Hi," I replied. We opened our notebooks. "So," I said, "our topic is music." Ethan nodded. "Yes." "What kind of music do you like?" I asked. He thought for a moment. "Classical music," he said. I was surprised. "Really?" "Yes." "Wow," I said. "That's interesting." Most students in our school listen to pop music or hip-hop. Classical music was very different. "Do you listen to famous composers?" I asked. "Yes," Ethan said. "Like Mozart and Beethoven." I smiled. "You really know music." He gave a small smile. Then we started writing ideas for the project. For the first time, Ethan talked more. He explained different instruments. He talked about melodies. He talked about emotions in music. I was surprised. Ethan knew a lot. He spoke slowly, but he spoke with confidence. After 1 hour, we finished our plan. "That was good," I said. Ethan nodded. "Yes." We packed our bags. Then I asked, "Ethan, do you play classical music?" He froze for a moment. Then he said quietly, "Yes." "What instrument?" I asked again. He hesitated. Then he said, "Violin." "Wow," I said. "That's amazing." But Ethan quickly shook his head. "No, it's nothing special." Then he walked out of the library. Again, something felt strange, but I did not know why. The next few days, we continued working together. Every afternoon, we met in the library. Every day, Ethan spoke a little more. He explained music beautifully. One afternoon, I asked, "Where did you learn violin?" He answered quietly, "My father taught me." "Oh," I said. "Is he a musician?" Ethan nodded. "Yes." "That's cool," I said. "Do you play in concerts?" Ethan suddenly became silent. He closed his notebook slowly. "No," he said. Then he stood up. "I need to go." He left the library again. I sat there alone. Something was clearly bothering him, but I did not ask more questions. 2 days before our presentation, something unexpected happened. It was lunchtime. I was sitting with my friends in the cafeteria. Marcus said, "Daniel, how is your project with the quiet boy?" "You mean Ethan?" I asked. "Yes," Marcus said. "Does he even talk?" I laughed. "Yes, actually he knows a lot about music." "Really?" Marcus said. Before I could answer, we heard music. Soft violin music. The sound was beautiful. Everyone in the cafeteria became quiet. "Where is that coming from?" Lily asked. We looked around. The music was coming from the hallway. I stood up. "Let's see," I said. Several students walked toward the hallway.
The music became louder. The sound was emotional, sad, but also beautiful. I slowly turned the corner, and then I saw something surprising. Ethan was standing near the lockers. He was holding a violin. His eyes were closed. He was playing the most beautiful music I had ever heard. Students stood around him silently. Nobody spoke. The music filled the hallway. My heart felt warm. Ethan finished the song. The hallway was silent for a moment. Then someone clapped. Soon many students started clapping. But Ethan looked shocked. He quickly stopped. His face turned red. He put the violin in his bag quickly. Then he ran down the hallway. "Ethan," I called. But he was already gone.
The next day, Ethan did not come to school. I waited for him in class, but his seat was empty. Miss Taylor looked concerned. "Does anyone know where Ethan is?" she asked. Nobody answered. I felt worried. After school, I decided to visit him. I asked the school office for his address. Then I walked to his house. It was a small house near the edge of the city. The paint on the walls was old. The garden looked messy. I knocked on the door. After a moment, the door opened slowly. Ethan stood there. He looked surprised. "Daniel?" he said. "Hi," I said. "I wanted to check on you." He looked nervous. "I'm fine," he said. "Why didn't you come to school?" I asked. He hesitated. Then he said quietly, "Can we talk inside?" I nodded. We sat in the small living room. There were many music papers on the table, and in the corner I saw a violin case. Ethan sat across from me. He looked nervous. "I'm sorry about yesterday," he said. "You saw me playing." "Yes," I said. "You play beautifully." Ethan looked down. "My father was a violinist," he said slowly. "He loved music more than anything." "What happened?" I asked gently. Ethan took a deep breath. 2 years ago, he said, my father got sick. He could not play anymore. He could not work. Our family had many problems. His voice became softer. Then, last year, he died. I felt my chest tighten. "I'm so sorry," I said quietly. Ethan continued speaking. "Before he died, he asked me to promise something." "What?" I asked. He said, "Never stop playing music." Ethan looked at the violin case. "But after he died, I couldn't play." "Why?" I asked. "Because every song reminds me of him," Ethan said. "Every note." His eyes filled with tears. "I miss him so much." The room became silent. Then Ethan said something I did not expect. "Yesterday was the first time I played in 1 year." I looked at him in surprise. "Really?" He nodded. "I heard music in my head during lunch. I could not stop myself. So I played, and everyone saw." I smiled gently. "They didn't laugh," I said. "They loved it." Ethan looked surprised. "Really?" "Yes." They clapped. They were amazed. Ethan sat quietly. Then he whispered, "My father would be happy if I played again." I nodded. "Yes, I think he would." The next day, Ethan returned to school. Students looked at him differently now. Some students smiled. Some students waved. Marcus said, "Hey, Ethan, that violin yesterday was awesome." Ethan looked shy. "Thank you," he said. Then our presentation day arrived. Miss Taylor said, "Daniel and Ethan, please come to the front." We walked to the front of the classroom. I started speaking. Our topic is classical music. Then Ethan explained different instruments. The class listened carefully. Then I said, Ethan would like to show you something. The class became curious. Ethan slowly opened his violin case. Gasps filled the room. Is he going to play? Someone whispered. Ethan looked nervous. I whispered to him, You can do it. He nodded slowly. Then he lifted the violin. He closed his eyes, and he started playing. The music filled the classroom. It was beautiful, peaceful, emotional. Nobody spoke. When he finished, the room was silent. Then the whole class clapped loudly. Miss Taylor smiled proudly. That was wonderful, she said. Ethan smiled for the first time. A real smile.
After that day, many things changed. Ethan was still quiet, but he was not alone anymore. Students talked to him more. Sometimes he even played violin during school events. And every time he played, people listened carefully. One afternoon, I asked him, Do you still feel sad when you play? He thought for a moment. Then he said, Yes, but now the sadness feels different. How? I asked. He smiled softly. It feels like my father is listening. I looked at him and smiled. Sometimes we lose someone we love. Sometimes the pain stays in our hearts. But the things they teach us, the love they give us, never disappear. Ethan once thought music only brought him sadness. But one day he realized something. Music did not take his father away. Music kept his father close. And that day, I learned something too. The quiet boy in my class had a secret. Not a dark secret. Not a strange secret. But a beautiful one. He carried music in his heart. And through that music, he kept love alive.
Great job listening to the story until the end. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to English Speaking Zone. On this channel, you can learn English with simple stories and real conversations. And remember, the more you listen, the more your English will improve. See you in the next story.